I feel that, in all honesty, that I was making him pay for what other people had done to me. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a girl princess. Thank you so much for tuning in again today. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for also tuning in. I do hope you're going to join the family before this video ends. So it's been a while I filmed. I think I've been doing more of vlogs than like this usual sit down and talk to you about life issues, which is basically what my tube which is basically what my channel is all about. Yeah, which is basically what it's all about. And it feels like okay, it's feeling like it's going to take a while to get back into the whole groove and all that. But nevertheless, we move. That's the word. I'm just going to be talking to us about something that affects everybody basically. It affects every single person. It affects you. It affects me. There's not a single person in this world I can basically and boldly tell you that is not affected by what I'm about to talk about now. And yes, it's friendship. It's the issue of friends. No matter how old the person is, or no matter how young a person is, that person must have somebody who they refer to as a friend, either at one point in their life, whether it's past tense or present or future, whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. At some point in our lives, we have people, or we had people that we called friends. Yeah. So this topic is going to be slightly different. Why? Because it's close to me. This is something that I'm still trying to deal with. It's something that still affects me now, even as I speak to you. And that is why it's different. It's different from other things. Some of the things I've talked about before are things that probably happened in the past and all that. But I haven't talked to us about something that's currently affecting me. And that's what I'm going to do now. In the past year, or rather for some time now, I won't say it's in the past year, I think it's in the past year or in the past 2 to 3 years of my life that it began to affect me and the way I see things. You think your friends have done you dirty, you think they've rubbed mud in your face, or you think they've dragged you around. Hello, you're not alone, because this girl in front of you has also experienced that. And it puts me in a really bad place, to the extent that I constantly pray. Even up until now, I'm constantly praying to God to help the state of my heart, because I'm in a place where I don't want to care anymore. I see a lot of people, when they talk about their friendships or their relationships. Please, in the course of this video, when I say relationship, I'm actually referring to the kind you have with just normal friends, nothing romantic, and all that. I've had a lot of people, and I'm sure these days you just hear people I beg, I no get friend, oh, I no get friend, nobody's my friend. Because a lot of people have been through a lot of things that has put them in a place where they do not want to be loved in that regard, and they do not want to love. They don't want to put themselves out there again for the fear of being hurt again. And to be honest, that is where I am now. The funny thing is that oftentimes these negativities or these negative people, you know tend to affect the positives in our lives. What do I mean by that? I'm doing this video. This wasn't the content I planned to film for this week, but somehow this happened, and I feel that God wanted me to talk about it. I just hope you can pick the message from this video. I was speaking with a friend sometime last week, and I was telling him, after we had finished discussing what we were discussing, I was telling him that I feel that he was in his own lane and all those kind of talks. And he said, Princess, this is how I feel about you too. I feel you have not been showing as much concern. I feel you have not been asking me about how I've been faring with my work and all that, like you would, like you ought to. He said, so why would I want to involve you in my issues if you've not been showing that much concern? He said, now I involve people who want to know, who ask me how far and all that. And it touched me. At that point, I said to him, I admitted that I hadn't been a good friend. I told him, see, I know that I haven't been a good friend to you. I know, but this is what it is. And he kept on saying to me, he said, Princess, tell me what I did wrong to you. I'm not saying you should tell me about anybody else. Those people are not me. Tell me what I did to you so that I can correct it, so that I will know this is why I got the kind of, the way, the kind of treatment you gave to me, or the kind of treatment you meted out to me, and all that. And apart from a few things I mentioned to him, I feel that, in all honesty, that I was making him pay for what other people had done to me. Yes, he might have not done well in some aspects, but the truth is that the way I was treating him, or for the fact that I had become withdrawn, was not just about him. It wasn't just because he did this at some point to me, or I felt he was acting like this at some point to me. It wasn't about it. It was more of what other people had done to me over time. Accumulation of all those hurts, accumulation of all those heartbreaks, that I was messing out on my friend. And trust me, this is one of the few good ones I have. If there's one word to describe me after our conversation, I was humbled. I was humbled because, you're in your space. You be like, this person did this to me. How can I let it go? Okay, I've forgiven her. I've forgiven him. But how can I be friends with this person again? He said to me, Princess, if it was like that, probably we wouldn't be friends anymore, because you have really hurt me in the past. And with the way you responded to the messages, you don't return my messages. God have mercy. If there was something, like I said, I was humbled, because it dawned on me. You're in your space thinking of how everybody else have hurt you. You're in your space thinking about how this person did this to you, and how this person did this to you, and you're not even seeing your own faults. Isn't it funny? Because that was where I was. That is where I am. I still pray. I keep telling my sister has been with me. I keep saying to her, I'm praying for God to help my heart. I got married recently. The kind of shock I got, hey God, this is going to be just for another day. I don't want to digress much. But the kind of shock that I got in this whole preparations and everything, from people that I felt like I loved these people, like I care for them, I love them, the kind of responses and all that, it even made the whole matter worse. Over time, I realized that I was becoming withdrawn. I didn't want to put myself out there anymore. I didn't want to put myself in the position to be hurt again, to be honest. And I told my friend, I'm really sorry that I've been a bad friend. But somehow, I couldn't just bring myself anymore to just be that princess that I've always been, that's always caring, that always wants to know what's up, how is it going. I couldn't just bring myself to that point. In the past year, I used to have this very good friend of mine, and I felt like she threw away our relationship. And the issue, what was the issue? Communication. That is why I talk about communication all the time. Anybody who knows me on a personal level knows that I'm big on communication. And I'm just going to list out some of the things. First of all, you're not so innocent. If there was something God taught me in my conversation with my friend, is this: you are not innocent either, princess. You've also hurt somebody, even though you didn't know. And you should also be able to extend that grace to this other person, these other people you said you've hurt them, and all that. So lesson number one, if there's something you have gotten in this first 8 minutes of this video, is that you are not as innocent as you think you are. I literally was quiet. I was sober for like 2 days. I was reminiscing. I was thinking. I was reflecting on all that we talked about and all that has happened to me, and how I've been praying to God to help the state of my heart. And I believe that it was God that actually made me to have that conversation with him. And I realized something, just like in John 8 verse 7, when Jesus Christ told the people that wanted to stone the adulterous woman, he said to them, stone her till death all you want, but then make sure you are without sin. Let me just read it quickly to us here. John 8 verse 7, it says, sorry, excuse me. All right, haul the stones at her until she dies, but only he who never sinned may throw the first. See, there are degrees to these things. There are levels to, people hurting you and all that. But somehow the principle is still the same. Regardless of what somebody else does to you, or regardless of what somebody else did to you, I don't think, we should always have it in our mind that we are not perfect too. We are not perfect too. Secondly, We need to deal with our issues. If not, they will keep coming up in our relationships. Here was my friend paying for something he did not do. That's just what it is. If we don't learn how to deal with our insecurities, if we don't learn how to deal with our flaws, our character flaws, our fears, and all the lies the devil says to us in our head, trust me, we are going to have issues in our relationships. Whether it's your normal friendship relationship, whether it's a marital relationship, whether it's parents or siblings or whatever, you are definitely going to keep having issues in your relationships if you're not able to deal with your own issues. Take for example what happened between my friend and I. Because of the hurt of other people, I was withdrawing from him. In fact, I withdrew. I didn't want to get too close, and I didn't want him to come too close either. That's just what it is. If you're unable to communicate with somebody you say you care about, you're going to definitely have issue in that relationship. So if you do not deal with the fact that you're not a very good communicator, you're going to keep having issues with your friends. And are you going to throw all of them away? Certainly not. So when we refuse to deal with issues that we have, it's definitely going to affect other people that care about us, other people around us. Communication. Communicate. Learn how to communicate. Tell your friends how you feel. Also know that when a person that cares about you comes forward and tells you, this is how I feel about a certain situation, know that the person is not trying to attack you. Basically, that person is just trying to tell you, this is how I feel about this thing. If you're not able to take it, you're not going to make it easy for that person to talk to you subsequently. So we should come to that point where we're able to communicate our true feelings to these people we care about. If you care about me, you should be able to tell me when I messed up. If you care about me, I should be able to tell you, okay, this is it. And you also need to be able to take it when somebody tries to communicate. It's not easy to come to a place of trying to communicate to you or communicate for your feelings. It's not easy to come out and say, this is how I feel. But when somebody does that, I think people should be able to appreciate it. That's okay, I appreciate the fact you're coming to talk to me, but I feel this is not really the case. But when you begin to pick offense, it's crazy. So how do you want us to be friends? Or how do you feel I should be able to communicate openly to you? I think we should learn to work on our character flaws. We should learn to work on our insecurities. We should learn to work on our fears and everything. We should really learn to work on it. And that is the only way we can actually have good and beautiful relationships. Like, we really need to deal with things. But if there's something I really want us to go home with today, is this: the same grace that has been given to us, we should learn to give it to other people. Like I said, if there was one word to describe how I was after I had a conversation with my friend, it was that I was humbled. I was sober. I was like, I've hurt somebody else, and here I was dwelling all this while on what other people that I call friends have done to me. And somehow it gave me a softer landing for my own heart's sake, for my own mind's sake, and also for these other people that I called friends, who I felt had hurt me deeply. It just made me to know, or rather it opened my mind to the fact that I'm hurting from other people, and probably also somebody else is hurting from me. But how do we bridge this gap? Communication. How do we bridge this gap? Vulnerability. How do we bridge this gap? Talking to each other. He said to me, Princess, if I threw you away like you want to do to these other people, what is now the difference? And I said to him, you cannot compare, because we are talking about it. I mentioned the relationship I felt like a friend threw away. What was the issue? Communication. Sometimes I just wish she walked up to me and told me, Princess, I didn't like that you said this, or I didn't like this, and we would have solved that issue, and that would have been it. But when we fail to deal with our own inadequacies, trust me, sooner or later, somebody else is going to pay for it. That is just the way it works. There's no science, there's no magic. It is just what it is. Another lesson I want us to pick from this is there's something I've learned. Know who is a friend. Not everybody is a friend. Not You can't call everybody your friend. You can't say this person is your friend. You need to know where they have placed you in your life. You need to know where the value they have put on you, and you need to act accordingly. Am I saying you should love less? No. You owe nobody anything but love. That is what the Bible instructs us to do. We should love everybody. But you need to know that it's okay to protect yourself. You also need to know it's okay for you to protect your heart. People are not generally bad people. They are basically who they are. And probably where you felt you were in your life, you're not in that position. Maybe you felt you are here, but in actual sense, you're here in their life. That is where they placed you. So you need to know where to draw the line. If there's something I'm happy for, is that the Lord opened my eyes to see that I wasn't perfect either. And He used my friend to let me understand that. And it made me feel lighter. I feel better. I feel, I feel more like I'm more, I don't know, let me not say forgiving, because I've actually forgiven. The hurt is no longer as bad as it used to be, because I know that I am also capable of hurting somebody else. I'm also capable of not doing well or falling short of somebody's standard, or where somebody felt I should have done. But if there's something I've also learned in all these things, is that when people care, they communicate it with you, they tell you. And that's one thing I'm thankful for with my friend, that we were able to talk to each other about this thing. A good friend is going to do that. A good friend is going to tell you, walk up to you, or call you or chat you. I feel we need to talk about something. You don't just fling the relationship and throw it away. One lesson we have to learn today, I've been saying lesson. Like I said, this is not like the usual video, because it is still something or somewhere I'm still in my life right now. One of the things I'm going to let us know is today is this: you're not so innocent, so be gracious also. That's one thing I've picked. Secondly, communicate. Thirdly, know your position in somebody's life, so you don't give yourself obimbawa all the time, so you don't keep breaking your heart all the time. I think when we love without expectations, it's better. It's not like I loved in the past times because I was expecting something. No, but I've come to this point in my life where whatever I do now, I'm just doing it. It's bad because people want to love me, or people are coming close, and subconsciously I realized that I came to the point where I was just withdrawing. I didn't want to come close. Don't come close to me, and I'm not going to come close to you. Just let me do your thing. You want this, I'll do it for you. You want this, I'll do it for you. I'm happy, I love you and all that, but it's just a way I try to protect myself. And the Lord has told me, and I'm praying to Him to help me. It's not good. It's not a healthy lifestyle. So basically, what am I trying to say? Just know your position in people's lives, and also be open regardless of the hurt. Give a new person a chance. I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. Like, give yourself a chance to love, and give the other person a chance to love you. I do hope that this blesses you, and I do hope that if this is your first time, you're going to come back. And if you're a returning subscriber, I pray that you keep coming back, and I pray that we are going to keep affecting each other's lives positively. Until the next time, it's a girl princess. Thank you for watching to the end of this unconventional video. I'm really, really thankful. And until the next time, stay blessed. Bye.